problems to be solved. 1. To clearly and definitively prove that God exists and give a concept of Him that can satisfy every mind. 2. To prove the truth of religion so powerfully that it becomes undeniable. 3. To explain why the mysteries of the one true religion matter and what their purpose is. 4. To turn philosophical objections into arguments that support true religion. 5. To separate religion from superstition and explain the meaning behind miracles and supernatural events. Preliminary thoughts. A thinker named Count Joseph de Maistre once said, "The world is without religion," and in doing so, he echoed those who claim there is no God. But maybe the real issue is that the world lacks his idea of religion, just as atheists reject an idea of God that likely never existed. Religion isn't something random, it's based on a constant truth. Human beings are naturally religious. The very idea of religion is tied into the fabric of human nature. The need to believe is connected to our need to love, and so we seek shared hopes and a sense of unity. Belief without community leads to doubt. Shared belief builds confidence, and that confidence becomes faith, which in turn forms religion. Faith doesn't arise from rules or politics. Like life, it happens naturally. You don't invent revelation, you experience it. Even when our minds resist the mysteries of religion, we are often drawn to them. In fact, even the most skeptical thinkers rarely want to be called irreligious. Religion is a bigger part of life than many realize. The things that lift us above mere survival, love, devotion, honor, are deeply religious. Loyalty to our family, our country, our memories. These are all acts of faith in something beyond this world. Without a belief in the eternal, we would become shallow creatures chasing only temporary pleasure. Religion as a deep human need. Religious feeling is one of the strongest passions in humanity, sometimes even stronger when it takes the form of denial. Whether affirming or rejecting, religious passion burns hot. Philosophers often miss the point. Religion isn't just a theory. It's a core part of human nature, just like love or intelligence. As long as people exist, religion will exist. At its core, religion is a desire for something infinite, something perfect. It pushes us to grow, to serve, to strive. Without it, virtue and honor would just be empty words used by the clever to exploit the weak. This need to believe is what we can call natural religion. Anything that tries to limit this need goes against nature. And what we believe in, the object of religion, is always a mystery. Faith begins where knowledge ends. Science can explore the known, but faith steps into the unknown. Doubt kills faith. Faith thrives on the heart's need to bridge the gap between the finite and the infinite. The role of authority. For faith to be real and lasting, it must be shaped by something trustworthy, but not by science. Science has no place in matters of the soul, and not by politics. Should the police oversee our prayers? The only true authority here is moral authority, a force that can define belief and guide religious life. This is what forms true religion, an unchanging dogma, a living practice, and a spiritual hierarchy that connects us to the divine. Only such a structure can satisfy the human need for religion. And when we understand this, we come to a bold conclusion. The true natural religion is revealed religion, and the true revealed religion is one that is hierarchical, traditional, and universal, affirmed by a communion of faith, hope, and love. On the priesthood. The priesthood, as the representation of divine authority, is sacred and trustworthy. Even when individual priests fall short morally, the spiritual power of their role remains untouched. When a corrupt pope like Alexander VI laid hands on bishops, it wasn't the sinful man acting, it was the pope, an office above the failings of any individual. The sacraments remain pure, regardless of the vessel. There have always been sinners in religious robes, but the role of priest or pope remains untouchable because it serves a higher order. Bad and priest, Levi argues, are opposites: mystery and symbol. There is no religion without mystery, and no mystery without symbols. Symbols express things that lie beyond reason by using images we do understand. Because faith deals with what is above human reasoning, it must speak through paradox. Hence the famous saying, "I believe because it is absurd." Absurd to the logical mind, perhaps, but not to the soul. Science, on the other hand, cannot claim to know what it does not know. When science tries to explain matters of faith, it becomes ridiculous. And when faith tries to explain science, it oversteps. You cannot confuse knowing with believing. They are two different things. Nor can you oppose them. They live in different realms. So trying to disprove faith using science shows a misunderstanding of both. The Trinity is not math. The Incarnation is not biology. Redemption is not history. Science cannot determine if belief is right or wrong. It can only observe what belief does, and when it sees that faith improves people, it must take that fact seriously. The name of God is charity. Now Levi makes a bold declaration. There is a reality that both science and faith must recognize, a divine force that has shaped history ever since the coming of Christ. This force was unknown to the ancients. It is deeper than science, brighter than poetry, and more transformative than reason. This force is charity, the spirit of selfless love. It is the living presence of God on earth. In the face of charity, faith bows humbly. Science surrenders in awe. All human objections collapse. Charity proves that God is real, not through arguments, but through action. It is stronger than passion, suffering, or even death. It makes God understood by every heart. It brings eternity into time. No philosophy, no rebellion, no satire can stand against the quiet power of a sister of charity tending the suffering in love. Charity as the soul of the Church. Charity is the living soul of religion. It is the true meaning of God. It is what makes the Church infallible. It is the light of the priesthood. It is the greatest thing a person can do, the surest sign of the immortal soul, the proof of divine truth. Jesus showed this on the cross when he gave John to Mary and entrusted his Spirit to the Father. The apostles conquered the world not with armies, but with truth and charity. They bled for love. Their faith burned brighter than fear. The early church chose unity over doubt. They built a sacred order around obedience, raised high by love. To selfishly distort this inheritance is to desecrate it. It is spiritual murder. The creed is the ark of charity, the sacred container of divine truth. Whoever violates it dies spiritually, because love withdraws from them. The triumph of charity through time. The martyrs comforted themselves with it. Saints like Saint Martin resisted tyranny with it. Men like Saint Vincent de Paul and Fénelon silenced mockers with the power of their example. Even the worst crimes committed in the name of religion have been answered by the radiant witness of the saints, those who bore the cost of real holiness. Final message. In the end, the cross, though once seen as madness, became the wisdom of the world, not because it made sense to reason, but because it made sense to love. And so, it is greater to believe with those who love and give of themselves than to doubt with those who mock and live only for pleasure.